Welcome to Mindset Marketing Mastery with your host, Marie Mason.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. We are in the middle of December. Can you believe it? We're almost finishing up this year.
That's fantastic, isn't it?
Oh, I can't wait.
No, it is not.
I cannot wait.
It's flying away.
Yeah, I don't mind. I mean, I just hope that when we have 2022, it's going to be evened out, because this year went by fast and 2020 went by slow. And I'm hoping that 22 is just like an even pace, because it's been definitely very fast paced this year.
Yeah, exactly. And I can't, it seems yesterday that we were doing goals for 2021, but now the year is already finished. And we are in 15 days in 2022. So I hope you guys are setting up your dream goals or projects for next year.
Right, oh, I know
you have so many.
I always have so many. That's just never, being a creative person, you just, there's always something going on. But oh my gosh, welcome back to the Marketing Mastery radio podcast. Actually, I'm your host, Marie Mason, and Planning Phoenix is my lovely and talented co-host. And at least through this month, oh my gosh, I cannot believe that we're gonna have some news for that too. She's getting so busy, she's got to step down, and I can't believe it's going to be at the end of this month.
I know. Last episodes.
Is this the last one? Is this going to be the last one?
I will finish with the December episodes, and then there will be a surprise for a new co-host, right?
Yeah, well, we haven't gotten that all figured out yet, but so I might fly solo for a little bit, the beginning of the year, and then we got to figure out a new time that works for the new co-hosts. So we got to work out some things with that.
But keep everybody posted though, right?
Oh yeah, everyone's and I'm fine either way. We're definitely gonna have a new look and feel for into the new year as well. We're gonna update some things, but won't feel everything yet. You'll find out soon. You have to stay tuned and keep watching. So anyway,
absolutely.
But yeah, there you go. A magician cannot reveal all their secrets at once. But anyway, so long story short, we have such an amazing guest lined up for you. Chryssy Robinson's back, and we can't wait to have her share some amazing stuff with us this week, and it is this year. So Pliny, you have the lead for the top tips of the week. So you want to share that?
Absolutely. Yeah. So with Chryssy today, we're going to talk about a peculiar topic. Stay with us. She will be with us in a few minutes. So I thought about a topic today for the tips of the week, something that it goes with it. So today we're going to talk, and we are at the end of the year. So I imagine you guys are setting up the new projects for 2022. So today I'm going to help you to set up projects and reach them, because that's what we want, right?
Exactly.
It's nice to reach, to complete a project. I know you can be sad too because it's finished, but we have to complete them, right? And I'm not a fan of having a pressure finishing something, because I'm a creative person. So I don't like to be pressurized and I have to finish with a deadline. So be free to feel it the way you feel it. Okay. It's not the same for every person, but if we want to achieve something, we have 5 things that we want to put in place. So I'm going to help you with that. And Perfect. To remember them, we're going to use the word SMART. So we need to do SMART steps, right? So it's simple.
It's not just about being smart. It's about
about being SMART as an acronym. So SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. I know you heard this so many times, but let's make it realistic and let's make it a practical, because I'm a practical person, right? So we don't want to make something in the air like this. Oh, I should be this, I should be that. No, let's make it practical. So how does it work? So specific. You don't want just to be, oh my gosh, I want to go to Ushuaia on holidays, right?
I don't even know where that is.
Oh my gosh, it's a deep south of America.
Oh, okay.
And it's a fantastic place away from everything where you can find yourself. So
Oh,
it's
wow.
really exotic. Let's say that I want to go there and you don't know anything about it. Be specific. So make your own research and try to come with some names, some specific place where you want to go. So with your project in your business, it will be the same thing. Don't be just, I want to achieve, I don't know, I want to be better. I want to my business to thrive. That's too vague.
Too general. Yeah.
Okay. So it's like deciding really, South America is a big area. I want to go to Ushuaia, that it's in the deep south. So I'm going to be specific and I want to name a specific town, specific things to do, right? It's the same thing. So be specific. Measurable is number 2. So you want to be measurable. What does it mean? Numbers, guys. I'm not a fan of analytics or that kind of things. So I'm not going to bring you there. But you need numbers because you want to see the progress. If you don't see a measurable progress in your business, you cannot be celebrating if you got them better. And you're not fixing them if you don't see that something is going wrong. So start to just take a note of everything you're doing so that you can understand what is not working and what it needs to be celebrated, right? So measure something, use numbers. Then number 3 is A of SMART, achievable. And this means really like, make sure it's possible for you to achieve. I know it's harder to say what can be possible to achieve for me now because it's not here yet, but just make something is not like something like going to the moon. That can be achievable too. I mean, if you have a 200,000 euros, you can go with space.
That'll be more like a long-term plan for some of us.
But really long-term, yes. So split everything. So you have the long-term there. So I want to go to Ushuaia. Let's pick again that in South America. I need to book the tickets probably, right? So that's achievable. Then going there, it's a lot of a planning, right? But I needed to find my hotel. I needed to find the tickets to go there. And from the main airport to go there, maybe a bus, maybe a taxi, maybe a train. I don't know. I have to make some reserves. So even if your big goal in business, do the same thing. You have the big goal. It can be, I don't know, 50,000 a year, 100,000 a year, 7K.
But keep it realistic.
7 figures, whatever it is.
Right.
You have to split it.
Right.
So it's achievable. Every step needs to be achievable, something that you can do on the short term, right? Then realistic. What does it mean? Realistic, oh, I want to go to the moon. That can be realistic for some people, for some others, maybe not, but make it like sure it's possible to fit in your life. That's what realistic means. It's not something, oh, can I do that or can I not? It's more how you can fit your project, your dream into your life. Do you have time for it? Are you a busy person? Let's say that you want to go to the gym, right? And sometimes it's not achievable because it's not realistic because you don't have time, right? It needs to fit in your life. So make time for it. Do you have a 1 hour, 3 times a week? Then it's realistic. If you don't have time for it, it's not realistic that you go. Maybe you just sign up, but you don't go to.
Or maybe it's a long-term or mid-term goal, something that you can put in.
But you need to make it realistic. You need to let it fit in your life. You need to make room for it and save it in your calendar. Make an appointment. I know every project we do, it's a personal project. Maybe you want to get accountable with someone else. Maybe your colleagues, maybe your partners, maybe friends just talking about it. Make yourself accountable and let it fit in your life. That's what realistic means. Right. And then the last one, timely.
Timely. For timely.
I say that I'm not fan of deadlines. But if you said, oh, just I want to do this trip to South America one day. Well, I promise you will say 10 years or 20 years talking about it and never going. You need to save a date in your calendar And
Right.
by the way, holidays go first. If
Yeah.
not, you're not going there.
Yeah.
So you needed to prioritize your goal. How
True.
important is for you? If it's important, you make room for it and you set a date so that you work towards that date.
Sweet.
So be smart. Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. And good
guess
luck
what?
with it.
You do it consistently and you keep focused on them and you keep working towards it and you will achieve anything that you set your mind to. That's something I've
Yeah.
learned in my lifetime too. So I follow a lot of that guidelines, and thank you so much. That was a great reminder for going into 2022, because let's make 22. My motto for 20, every year I have a motto, and the motto for 2022 is do you in 2022. So
Yeah.
that's do you in 2022. Someone else helped me come up with it this year. So that's awesome. But Pliny, you could be reached at
Better
www.bettervoice.now.com. Is that correct?
bettervoicenow.com.
Good deal. Awesome. Well, definitely check her out. She is a voice coach and can help you with your voice and your goals. How about that?
And confidence too.
And confidence. There you go. And we all need that. We really need to bring up our guest because, oh my gosh, she's been so patiently waiting for us to get started today. We've had a few little glitches earlier. Gremlins are
Let's
back.
call
You know,
Chryssy.
So Chryssy, come on into the room. And oh my gosh, Chryssy is a brand strategist with over 8 years of experience in helping small business owners strategize and their business operations and grow an online presence. And oh my gosh, after this, you're going to have to say 9. Anyway, I'm just realizing that. And then she's also known as for her expertise in building and executing strategic content and marketing plans and that get real results. And so definitely check out with her. And I can't wait. She'll come back to the show, I'm sure, because I'll be giving her some chances to help us out with some periodical tips and stuff and tricks. And today she's going to talk to you about understanding your target market. Oh my gosh, so many people I've talked to, clients and students, when I first started with them, were so unclear about their target market. And let's face it, when you're marketing, you need to be clear about that, right, Chryssy? Come on, take it away. Yeah.
Yes. So understanding your target market.
Yeah.
So regardless of the way that I go about doing this is a very practical way. So a lot of people, let me just say for the record, everyone thinks that they know their target market, but it's never the way that they should know them. So most people know the demographics. They know it's women, they know it's entrepreneurs, they know people who struggle with their particular thing that they offer, but that is not really something that you can identify quickly. And so what's really important is to understand who your customers and clients are on a real personal level, their actual being. And so what I instruct people to do is to do client or customer interviews. And so what you're going to do is you're going to identify 5 to 10 of anyone who is your ideal customer or that you've worked with before. And you're just going to say, can I pick your brain? You're just going to pick their brain. The goal of this is not to sell. The goal of this is not to talk about you at all, really. It's just to ask them questions like, what kind of content do they, consume? And don't ask it like that. Just say like, what are you reading? Are you on Instagram? Who are you paying attention to on Instagram? Who are you paying attention to on YouTube? What kind of information do you look up, right? Where are you searching? Are you searching on Google? What are you searching on Google? You're asking them questions about them. What are their goals? If it's a business, what are the goals in business? What stage they believe they're in business? A really good one is, what is most important to you now, right? At this very moment, what's really important to you? And you learn a lot by that, because what I learned in my own was that, even though my clients in the past were coming to me with the goal of get a logo, get a website, get a this, in their mind, it stood for something that I was not aware of at the moment. So back in the day, a long time ago, when I was doing really silly things in my business, and when I say silly, I just mean not charging enough and working way too We all
Yeah.
start there.
Well, we all start somewhere,
I
right?
was
We
working
all
with
have,
clients,
right?
and
Yeah.
what would happen is they would come to me. Yeah, they would come to me for.
We all start somewhere, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, we all start somewhere. That's why I always tell people there is a place for free and cheap because you learn so much. But basically, what ended up happening was in my own client interviews, I realized the number one goal for most like entrepreneurs that I work with is going to be growth and exposure, right? So it's going to be more sales, more properties, more team members. It's scaling. They're not necessarily in this space of starting, right? It's not like I need to figure out how to get my first client. It's really not that. It's more of something's not working, or I want to be able to scale this up much faster. And that's where like the automations and workflows come in. I want to be able to scale this up faster. I want to be able to grow my business and whatever that means to them. And they were misled in thinking that a brand or a logo or a website could do that. So now I knew in my consultations, I had to take them from what they believe to what they actually need, that I know will actually guarantee them results. And that's the difference of knowing your target market and thinking, or just responding to the need. Because a lot of us will respond to need. People will say, hey, I need XYZ. And we'll say, yes, I got you. But usually there's something deeper there. And sometimes we need to take our clients, like, actually, you don't need this. You're going to waste your time, your money, and your sanity. And you actually need this one thing over here. Or you just need to just completely, start all over or something like that. So that's what I find. I have a resource on this too. It's on my IG Live. It's called Build Your Client Profiles. It's an IG Live recording. And it's really helpful. I show you examples of what one actually looks like as well.
Yeah.
So I would definitely check that out.
Excellent. Thank you. And oh my gosh, and you're spot on about that. Thank you. And oh my gosh, and you're spot on about that. So I noticed that your sound is a little bit. So I noticed that your sound is a little bit. Just check your mic, see where it is. Just check your mic, see where it is.
It has static.
Yes, it does. That's better. Sorry, I should have checked this a little bit earlier. Yes, it does. That's better. Sorry, I should have checked this a little bit earlier.
You're fine.
Okay. No, that sounds better.
Is it static, or can you hear like movement?
Well, it was a little bit of movement, but now it's a little staticky. So maybe it's just, I don't know what it is. Zoom's been having some gremlins lately, so we'll just go with that. We'll blame.
Here, I'll switch to my.
Zoom's been having some gremlins lately, so we'll just go with that.
Yeah, there's a delay as well.
That's what I noticed too.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. That's what I noticed too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can hear.
My mic, is that one better?
Yeah, much better. Yeah.
Okay.
I just want everyone to be able to hear your lovely voice and your great yeah. Is it better, Pliny? Thumbs up. So yeah. Okay. All right. Awesome. So we're good. Yeah. I usually do that better during the forehand, but like I said, I don't want to get all the way through and not have a good quality sound for my audience. So no, but that was fantastic and spot on, because you really need to be clear about digging in deeper to the client's needs, because sometimes they don't always fully know everything right away. They think they know XYZ, but really they might know something that you can help them figure that out. So that was perfect. So my other question is, why is it important in automating your workflows? And I say this because I know it's something I have talked to my students, and I've also talked to my clients about that. Because sometimes they get so stressed with all their work. And I was going to say, and there's a two-part question to that, actually. Why is it important to automate your workflows, but also when is a good time to automate that? Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So it's important because, especially if you're a solopreneur,
right? So you're only one person. And even if you're not, you have limited bandwidth. Like everyone has capacity. There's no such thing as unlimited capacity. Like we all have restraints. And so with that, you want to try to look for opportunities that you can save yourself some time, whether that's, creating, I always say automation doesn't have to be like Zapier and all the tools. It can be just streamlining a process, documenting it very well, making sure all the steps are kind of you just go through the steps essentially. If you set up your processes in a way that can thrive without your attention, it then frees up your space and your time to work on the things that matter to you. Unless you are a content creator or an influencer, you need to be focused on something other than like marketing and other than onboarding team members, other than all these different things. So if you can automate or streamline or delegate different processes or workflows in your business, it frees you up as the owner to do what you love to do. So that's why it's really important. It's the way to scale.
Oh, good. So yeah, don't mind Pliny while she's having some video gremlins.
Don't mind Pliny while she's having some video gremlins.
You mentioned one follow-up question for that. You mentioned scale. I hear that a lot.
One follow-up question for that. You mentioned scale. I hear that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference between growing your business and scaling your business, correct?
There's a difference between growing your business and scaling your business, correct?
Can you tell us about that?
Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So growing can be just, honestly, both of the words are completely, it's just the English language. You can use them in contrast with each other or like literally be the same thing, as you'll hear that. But to me, growing could be like increasing sales. It can be increasing productivity. It could even be, let's say, adding a new product or service, where scaling is literally taking what you have and like multiplying it out, right? So like it could be still adding that new product or service, but you're also identifying, okay, in order to do this, I have to scale these other parts of my business up to a certain degree. So like scaling, just imagine scaling is kind of getting a little bit bigger, where growing could just literally be one thing. Like if you increase your sales by, 100%, does it mean that you scaled? Not necessarily, if that makes sense. So, but if you scale your business, they're kind of like, they can work together, but they also are different, but the same, just depending on how people use them. I've heard people use them.
Chryssy, would you say that scaling is more
the way I define it? But like you can scale your business and it means nothing to your sales.
Chryssy, would you say that scaling is more?
It's more like adjusting and organizing your business according to how much you grow.
Adjusting and organizing your business according to how much you grow.
Yeah, you could say that. You could say it's a reactive or proactive approach to growing. You can definitely say that.
Yeah, go.
Perfect. No, excellent. So, yeah, and the reason why I asked that is because there's a lot of buzzwords about those two, and that's why I wanted to make sure we were all clear about it.
There's a lot of buzzwords about those two, and that's why I wanted to make sure we were all clear about it.
So.
Yes, yeah, a lot of people definitely use those things as buzzwords because I know everyone's like, yeah.
If we want to go and check to organize and automating workflows, where should we check in our business? Which parts of our business can be automated or should be automated?
So that's a really great question. It could really be any part of your business, honestly. It's not like you could automate 100% of it, but there are always opportunities. So I always say, like, what are you spending most of your time doing? And I like to tell people to pick the lowest hanging fruit. Whatever will take you the smallest, like, bang, right? Something small for you to just get familiar with, like automations and streamlining and documentation, something for you to kind of play with. A really great one that everyone does is like content marketing, because it's lots of steps, but we're all familiar with the steps for the most part. So that's a really good one to start with, especially when you're talking about like connecting all these tools and having like an outline, or even like something like this, like a podcast is a really great one as well, because you know the steps, you just have to now look for those opportunities. What needs to happen at each step of this process? And again, when I say automation, it doesn't necessarily have to mean an actual automated thing. It could be a streamlined process. It could be delegating it to someone else. Just keeping it off of your plate, right? So as a solopreneur, you need to.
Right. And would you mind giving an example of content marketing for that process, just so we can kind of have an idea about that, because your process might be a little different than someone else's, but for somebody who might be new getting started, for example, or someone making pivots, they might want to tweak how they do a process. So I was just kind of curious if you wouldn't mind giving us a quick content example, using like example for like podcasts, for for, let's say we would take this podcast, how would you use it for content marketing?
People ask me this all the time, and it's when it comes to like the automation workflow systems, business systems, people look for like this like cookie cutter, I'm gonna pull this off of the shelf and use it. When in reality, my first question when I'm working with a client would be, what is ideal state, right? So what's the ideal state? Spell this out, what needs to happen. So let's just talk about a random podcast, the steps that I'm aware of, right? So we obviously need a schedule. We obviously are going to need topics. We need to secure guests. We need graphics. We need a topic outline and whatever automations that we need as far as like blocking time on calendar and stuff. Let's use that. So when we're talking about a schedule, automating that system could simply look like making it where the schedule, there's a reminder or a task on your Trello, Asana, Monday workboard that says every month we're going to create the schedule, or every quarter we're going to create the schedule, and it's going to be there and it's done. Done. Then there might be another task or reminder on your board that comes in automatically to keep you ahead. It might say something like secure to, we actually do this for our IG live show, secure to 2 months out guests. So we're always at least at a minimum 2 months out for our IG live show. So my assistant goes and she grabs, basically vets different guests, gets them on the show. There's a form that they fill out. It automatically, their application, and we ask for their photo, their bio, their Instagram handle, all the things we need for the graphic, all in one form, one place. It comes to us. She creates the graphic using a template. Templates are another great way to automate things. And then from there, we send it to them. And there's email notifications all throughout this thing. From there, we send it to them. And then both by them scheduling themselves or filling out that form, it puts them on our schedule, our public schedule that everyone can see. It also puts a block on my calendar and their calendar, and they get next steps. So now it's just a matter of showing up. We don't require talking points, but let's just say if you did for your podcast, there might be an email that automatically goes out that says, hey, your talking points are due. Make sure that you fill out this, and give us your talking points. But other than that, it's now just show up to the call. So literally, we've been doing IG Live every single week, every Wednesday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. For
what dates?
Every Wednesday.
Wednesday, sorry. I thought I heard it, but I wanted to make.
Yeah, every
Wednesday at 3 p.m.
Eastern time. Yep. So we've been going live for consistently about 2 years, never missed a day. And it's not even something that I think about. It just happens, right? Because of all the systems, the reminders, everything in place. My assistant knows to keep us out. I don't even know, to be perfectly honest, I don't even know who my guest is until like 5 minutes before. I get a reminder on my calendar that I have to basically send them a DM, like video chat them on IG to check sound and audio and answer any last minute questions. I literally look at the flyer on my Instagram. I'm like, who am I calling? And I just call them right then and there. So when you automate things, I don't have to no longer think about it. This is no longer a thing that Chryssy has to have her hands in. I just show up.
That's impressive. Yeah.
You do your
And
job. Yeah.
yeah, one of the things I do is I also do a follow-up, and I send out I mean, I think you've seen it too, but I'll send up the video recording to the person who was on there. And I also post it on the social media, and I have it automated sent out to my email list. That way people can also see it in the follow-up, because you not only have to have an automated process at this when you're sending out content, you need a process for following up as well. So anyway, Pliny, you have another question for Chryssy?
Yeah. So in this process, we say like what can be automated and things like that. Is there something, Chryssy, that our guests that want to, there are solopreneurs or entrepreneurs that should avoid in terms of automating something?
Yeah, there's actually a lot. So I recognize that it takes a different type of mindset to do a lot of the automations and workflows. It takes kind of like a project manager, business analyst type of mindset. You have to love systems and you have to love continuous improvement. However, if you don't possess that mindset or you've never done that before, it doesn't mean you don't do automations. It just means you keep it simple in the beginning. Just keep it simple. So I see a lot of people when we're talking about automations, they'll say, I want this thing to do this, and then this tool over here talk to this thing, and this tool over here talk to, and it's just too much. It's too chaotic, and it's a pain in the butt to maintain. One thing that no one talks about with automating systems is maintenance. One thing changing system, you have to go and update that automation. So
that's true.
yeah, so you want to keep it as simple as possible. What needs to happen, especially if you've never touched tools like Zapier, if you've never built an automation, if you're not sure on how to start or where to begin, just get as far as you can and build on it. These things are very easy to change, right? They're very easy to move the steps around and change. And actually, the other thing I would say is avoid like beating up yourself, because what's going to happen, and it still happens to me to this day, I will build an automation and do something really silly. I actually had an automation that I built for one of my team member boards. It was terrible. Basically what I was trying to do, but I wasn't thinking through the steps. Slow down would be my advice. But I built a quick automation to pull anything that was supposed to be due, to pull it into the in progress column. Basically to be like, hey, you're working on this is due now. But I forgot to add like a clause. And so basically it pulled everything on the board into one column on Trello. And so I had to go and clean that up. Like I didn't.
Oh my gosh, I had to do all this stuff. One day is not enough.
Yeah, no, just slow down, read what's actually happening. Don't get overwhelmed by the new tools and systems. But definitely keep it simple. Keep it simple. Does it really need to happen? You'll realize you'll create stuff like one that I use all the time, or I used to use all the time. I used to put for all of my team members a card or a comment on a card if it's 2 months, or I'm sorry, 2 days, like if it's due in 2 days, a quick little reminder, hey, this is due in 2 days. However, I have a huge team and I get those notifications as well. So I shut that one down really quick. So you'll realize real quickly, you'll build stuff and you'll be like, that was ridiculous. It's actually, how about we just have a conversation instead? Make sure you guys are putting your stuff in review, which is a whole nother thing, in 2 days, rather than, it doesn't solve for, don't try to automate every little thing. Don't try to automate.
You still have to put the human touch, because let's face it, you still have to be able to create those relationships. And the automated stuff is great for the little tasks or some of the stuff that's the day-to-day operations.
Yeah, but the stuff that makes you use too much of your precious time.
Exactly. You want to be able to, exactly, because you want to focus your time on where it counts, which is building those relationships and getting tasks done that are related to your work, that for that client, however that works for your business model. So that's a brilliant point for both of you, actually. So yeah, awesome sauce. Okay, so that's one of my phrases, by the way. So I have a curiosity question related to that. You said you send it to that task to your team in a specific column, and you had a specific wording for that. Can you walk us through how you set up your tasks like that? Because just so we're clear, because, people might just be getting ready to set up. They might want to know an idea, and they might learn from you and say, oh, she did it this way. Let me learn from this way. So I'm just going to see if you could give us an example of that.
So just so you guys know, I have a whole 3-part series on this stuff and
Okay,
on
cool.
YouTube right now. It actually just released this month.
Yay!
It's workshop recordings, but to answer your question, I was referring to the in review column. This is great for people who have a team. So basically what I was realizing in the early stages of getting my first few team members is that my done is not everyone else's done. So meaning a lot of people, if I tell Plenty, hey, I need this done by Friday, in reality, she's probably going to get it to me on Friday, but we're not accounting for any of the back and forth that has to happen now that she's done. So what the in review column is all of my team members know their stuff has to be in review. If it is something that needs discussion or my approval on it, it has to be in review before the due date, because when it's done, we never touch it again. Done means done, over it, never touching it again. So for example, in social media, right? So my content creator, she knows to put everything, there's a due date, there's a scheduled date, the due date, and then the in review by date. So the scheduled date is when it's going to be posted on Instagram. The due date is when the actual task for her to be complete is done. We're never touching it again. Done means it's scheduled in our scheduler. And then in review by is time for approvals. So if there is any revisions, as they tend to be revisions, if there's any copy changes, just time for us to kind of have a discussion or go back and forth. It's really helpful to have a place. It also helps me because on any of my team boards, I can go on there and see what they need my attention on really quickly. I also have like another automation that I have that puts a card on my board whenever they need my attention on something that's maybe not even due for a while. But you want to have those spaces because I think I have over like 53. I just counted the other day and then I've added a few, 53 Trello boards, and that's not including like client boards and all that stuff. We have a huge Trello board. So my notifications are pretty useless because of it.
Your team.
Yeah. It's pretty useless because I have constantly like hundreds of notifications. And so I need an easy way to visually see what's required of me. And so that's like,
Chryssy, do you use Trello both for your clients and your team?
For your clients and your team.
Yes, for every type of client as well. So I do brand strategy consulting. Well, I'll meet with a client every week. They get their own board that we kind of brainstorm on, set goals on, all that stuff.
Okay.
And then also for my coaching clients and my coaching group, they have it's a shared board. They have one. For my creative project, if we do a website, logo, anything, we have a board. And then also for marketing clients, they have their own board, obviously for marketing reasons, being able to approve content, write copy, all that stuff.
And that's a great
for everyone. Every little thing has a board just because it's easier to maintain. And I have different team members that work on different clients.
That's a great way for your clients to be able to track where you are in your project.
Where you are
right
in your project.
Yes, it gives great visibility. Absolutely.
Sweet. And it doesn't matter if they use Trello or Giuseppe or any Asana or any of those.
It doesn't matter if they use Trello or Giuseppe or any Asana or
software programs. Software programs. Because the long and short of it is what works for you and your business.
Software programs.
Right.
Because the long and short of it is what works for you and your business.
Mm-hmm.
What I was going to add is if anyone needs help with that, Chryssy is your go-to marketing gal, right? You're known for that, right? So if you need help with that, you need to ask Chryssy. So there you go. Anyway, I just put a plug in there for you for that. So, oh my gosh, very, very good information. And then,
so, oh my gosh, very, very good information. And then
we got one more question, I think, and then you got an offer for us. And I don't know, Pliny, would you like to ask her the last question there?
Yeah, so we talk about all these automations, but can you name us some tools you use when automating your workflows?
Yeah. So obviously I use Trello, and to Marie's point, it's not because it just works for me. I've been using it for years. I've probably been using Trello since, well, I know I've been using Trello since 2014. So it's just, I'm stuck with it now. It would be too much of a hassle to switch over, but you can definitely use Asana. Most of these project management tools interact or integrate with different automation systems. You can also use Zapier. The easiest way to start automating things like today is every tool you use has an integrations, plugins, add-ons, some type of tab that tells you, hey, we work with these other systems. Check there first, because there's probably already something that just automatically connects. So instead of going to Zapier and building something custom, which can be very overwhelming, I've watched my clients struggle through Zapier. Instead of doing that, just instead check the integrations tab and see if it integrates with your website or integrates with your mailer service. That's the easiest way to get
starting
started.
from the apps you're already using, and see if they can help you with that.
Starting from the apps you're already
and not make it complicated stuff.
and see if they can help you with that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, because Chryssy, you say it a lot of times.
Yeah, don't make the complicated stuff.
Is the key,
Trust
right?
Keep it realistic, folks. Anyway, long story short, very good information.
Yes, otherwise it'll be a
realistic, folks.
Exactly.
Anyway.
And I wanted to add in that it's a good point that you said earlier about finding a tool that works for you and then stick with it. So you get, because the more you stick with it, the more comfortable you'll get with it, and then the more beneficial it will be for you and your business. And find something that your clients can follow you on, and then as you build a team, one that your team can also follow you on, and that way you have a central location for all your forms, and like you have one for all your forms, you have one for all your processes in place. Everyone could see where everybody is, and oh my gosh, it's going to really save on your delivery process, I'm telling you. Right. Right, Chryssy, it's gonna save
it will be
you
also
time.
easy for the clients enrolling and they're working with you to see that everything is understandable, and they will know what you are doing, what they need to do, and everything just flows.
Yes.
Right. Perfect.
Chryssy, would you like to tell us how our audience can get in touch with you? And I know you have a surprise for our audience as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You can definitely connect with me on Instagram or my website directly. You can book some time with me. I'm not one of those people that like charge $3.99 for information or anything. You can simply just go on my website, click book a discovery call, and book a call with me, and we can figure out what it is you're trying to do and figure out what it takes, whether that's with or without me. So yeah, I'm gonna offer that to you all as a free consultation or a free discovery call.
Awesome.
That's great.
Thank you for that. Now I have one last question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What are your goals for 2022?
What are your goals?
Curious minds want to know.
Curious minds want to know.
I have actually not done my goal planning yet. So every year I take out off the first or the last week of the year, and I take off the first week of the new year. So basically I'm off the last week of December and the first week of January, and that's when I do my goal planning. And I really don't even think about it until then, because I'm kind of in this mode where I'm trying to close things off for 2022 right now, or 2021, trying to put pins and everything so that I can come fresh for 2022.
It sounds like your holiday transition.
That's the answer.
Yeah, it sounds like your holiday transition.
Yes. Around this time of year, we just have we move very fast. All of my team members will tell you. I tell them in the beginning, I give them a heads up that this is a fast-paced environment, and they're like, I got this. And then every time their first one, they're like, yeah, this is fast. So we move very fast. So I give it to my team and myself to just kind of take a break at the end of the year. And that first week of the year, I actually am working. I'm just not working on
You're
client
working
stuff. I'm
behind
doing
the scenes stuff, not in
strategy
the,
overall,
yeah,
strategy planning for the business.
yeah, I get that.
And myself, right?
Working
Set
I get
personal
that.
goals.
scene stuff, not in the, yeah.
Yes, working
Yeah, I
on the
get that.
business, not in.
One of the things I'm doing this year, and I haven't done this in the last, since I started my business in 2017, and that was just an idea. Then I launched it officially in January of 2018. Ever since then, I just haven't really taken a full couple weeks off for maybe a few days off here and there, but for holidays and vacationing, but not 2 weeks. So I'm actually taking the last 2 weeks of December off. And I wanted to let you know that this week, yesterday, I celebrated another year wiser. So I actually celebrated a birthday yesterday, and cannot believe a whole year's been gone by.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I figured I'd say that. And oh my gosh, it has definitely been an amazing journey. When you look back at the year where you've been, I always encourage people, don't look at the things that you haven't accomplished, because those could be put on your goal list for the next year. This is just a perspective. Look at the things you have accomplished and be proud of what you've accomplished. And then look forward to the things next year. Like, for example, my son right now is looking forward to being 16 because he's in the process of getting a learner's permit. Yes, that's why I colored my hair, because I know once he starts driving, those white hairs are going to crop back out even more, because I'm already nervous about him driving. He's a good kid, but I don't know how his driving skills are yet. So needless to say, I'll be getting a little bit whiter hair soon. So I wanted just to make sure that, it's just like a kid waiting for the driver's license. It's just those things that we anticipate for. So anticipate something fun and positive, and plan something fun and positive as a reward. Don't forget to reward yourself. I give people permission to give them rewards for themselves.
Yeah.
Even
That's
if
a
it's
good
just,
idea. Absolutely.
yeah, because that's something that we forget, right? And especially as business owners and moms or caregivers, you forget to do the rewards for yourself. Small wins, small rewards, big wins, big rewards. Just don't blow your budget doing it. Just my 2 cents. So anyway, so give yourself a permission to, and it doesn't have to be things, because so many things. Everyone calls it the during this wonderful season we've had the last couple of years with this virus, and they called it the adding pounds. We all add the 15 pounds. Well, mine's not just 15 pounds of weight, it's 15 pounds of stuff in the house that I need to get rid of. So I need to get rid of clutter, but that's another topic for another day. But the long story short of it is, you have to just remember to give yourself a reward, and it could just be going to spend time with your family. It could be going to go to the movies or going to that dream vacation. It doesn't always have to be something physical. It's something about, let's create those positive memories together as a family and as friends. People really want you to be present in their lives. So let's give them that as a gift. So that's just my 2 cents.
Christmas gift.
Yeah, Christmas, holidays, birthdays, you name it, it's out there. So I'm giving people permission this year. Don't forget to give yourself a little reward here and there, because that's going to help build your confidence towards reaching your goal, right? Whatever that big lofty goal is, you need to have little rewards along the way and to celebrate those wins. So remember, all wins moving yourself forward should be celebrated. And it could be small ones, could be as simple as going to Starbucks and getting a cup of coffee. I know some people who do that. Okay. I do tea. I don't do coffee, but each to his own. But everybody has to find out what that is for them. And I'm giving people
Chryssy,
permission.
how do you celebrate?
Yeah, that's a good question. How do you celebrate your wins? That's a good question.
So I've been doing this for about a year now. I practice self-care Sunday. So I celebrate win or not. So, so for me, every Sunday is kind of a day for self. And so what that looks like, it's so real now that my family even plans around it. So they'll be like, hey, do you want to oh, it's self-care Sunday. So, and it's not that I won't do things. It's just they know not to ask me to do things that they know I don't want to do, like go to the mall. I'm not a big mall person. I'm not a very materialistic person either. So I practice self-care Sunday and I do things all the time. I give myself spa treatments. I do my own nails. I do my own hair. Like I just take time to nurture the relationship with myself naturally, regardless of wins or not, but I'm always having productive weeks.
That's a good thing as well. Wins or not. I love it, Chryssy.
And then it's really important to address the self-care.
Because you deserve it. Because even if you didn't, because even if you didn't win, doesn't mean you still didn't put the work in to try.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Not because you won.
Yeah, exactly.
You really have to remember, and that's a good point. You really have to remember. That you have to take care of you first in order to take care of everybody else around you. So it's a good reminder.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good reminder.
For my birthday, my husband gave me a spa day for going to get my hair done, which I'm going to do after the holidays. So anyway, that's going to be my treat.
After the holidays.
So thank you for the reminder. So anyway, thoughtful husband. So wanted just to say thank you so much, Chryssy. You have a don't forget to check out her calendar. Could you give us that link again?
Don't forget to check out her calendar. Could you give us that link again?
Yeah, so Color Addict spelled with K's, KOLORADDIKT. There's a KT, so people always miss that part. .com. There's a big pink button at the top that says book a discovery call. If you just click that, you'll be able to get on my calendar. You can also just send me a message on Instagram too. You don't have to go through that route.
That's
excellent.
Great.
Thank you, Chryssy Robinson, for being invaluable, giving us such valuable tips to help our audience grow themselves and their business on our podcast.
Giving us such valuable tips to help our audience.
And our topic today was about understanding your target market, because it's so important that you understand what they're really asking you to do as well as what they need you to do. So that was a brilliantly said today, and where tips were perfect. So thank you for that, Chryssy. And I hope everyone gets some great value out of today's call. And hopefully Chryssy will be able to come back. You'll agree to come back? And maybe we'll have less sound gremlins. So anyway, that'll be great. So I just wanted to encourage you to take advantage of the offer. We're going to be starting in the new year. We're going to be having a lot of our podcasts up on the website at libertyvirtualsolutions.com. You can also take advantage of the guests on the YouTube channel. I'll be posting that on there as well. And also the checkout will be on Speaker and Spotify and several other platforms in the new year. So take a look at that. And then also during the school year of the 2021-2020 school year, make sure you check out our merchandise at libertyvirtualsolutions.com shop and go check out the school backpacks. For every $45 backpack we sell, we send a teacher a $5 gift card. And so it's $5 sent to a lucky teacher in the US. And that's to help them, give them some money towards their supplies, because let's face it, they don't have enough given to them during this school year. So that's going to be starting to be available pretty soon. I'm going to be relaunching it during the Christmas holidays. So starting no later than this week, coming up, we'll be having that available. And please make sure you check out, because we got great mugs. We got hats and t-shirts, you name it. There are lots of great little last minute gifts that you can give to your loved ones. So what if they have everything? They don't have anything from our show. So there you go. There's something new and unique. So definitely check us out. And Pliny, would you do the honor of closing out the show?
Yeah, absolutely. Chryssy, thank you so much for being with us today, and for all your tips. Always precious. So we're happy to see you again here soon. Thank you guys for connecting with us, for seeing us, for listening to us. Join us again next episode for great tips, ideas, and how-tos to make your marketing and mindset work for you and your business. And we'll see you next week, Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, always here on YouTube, or you can check our libertyvirtualsolutions.com and see where you can find us in other platforms. So until next time, thank you so much. My name is Blaney Phoenix, the host, and our host, Mary Mason. We'll see you next week. Bye.
And our guest, Chryssy. Thank you guys. Have a great week, and y'all be safe during the holidays. Take care. Bye.
Go to our radio page and check out the gifts from our speakers. We'll see you next time on Marketing Mindset Mastery with your host, Marie Mason.